My name is Alexander Sprenghaus. I'm the territory manager at Virtuozzo since now almost 2 years. Responsible basically for talking to everyone, to presenting Virtuozzo, to showcasing it together with Hermitage here in this case, and explaining who we are, how we can create the path for service providers to build a profitable sovereign cloud business, which I assume currently in the current state is exactly what service providers are looking for. Um, Good. So in case of any questions, write them down. We will answer them after the presentation. Uh, Short story. What is important for current cloud environment? As we know, sovereignty in the current state is very important. So where is the data stored? Who controls it? Those are usually the questions every service provider receives. How fast can you access? How performant is it? Are there downtimes when it comes to, let's say, for example, AWS, Microsoft? We saw in the recent times that some disruptions happened. And of course, what the most and the biggest change in the last 1, 2 years happened is about the cost. How can we make sure that we utilize the resources? We do not need to expect higher pricing from certain companies. How can we make sure that the cloud which we offer to our customers is exactly the cloud which we want to have and to work together with? So there is the place where Virtuoso is, and I assume that that's also what you would expect from this today's presentation, that we will say Virtuoso is exactly enabling this use case. So what do? We enable alternative cloud providers to deliver profitable, sovereign, easy to use, yet powerful cloud services with one unified platform, virtualization, storage, Kubernetes, and even application lifecycle automation without a login. And what we mean without a login, I will explain shortly. So how do we do it and who we are in short? We are a Swiss company based with the headquarters in Switzerland. We have some Singapore roots, but are of course 100% GDPR compliant. We do local deployment. So it's not that we offer AWS, we offer Google. We do local deployments for cloud service providers on their premises. No hidden dependencies. So we are not, no one is in need to be reliant on hyperscalers, on third country data transfers. It's all in your local data center. And it enables regional cloud independence. So what's better than having in your local country, in your local city, a cloud service provider who is keeping the data exactly next to you? Um, a bit more about Virtuoso because oftentimes you don't hear the name Virtuoso as it is, but you will most likely worked with one of our solutions before. We are exactly GDPR compliant. We offer infrastructure as a service, which so a virtualization solution for infrastructure as a service, which we will focus more today on. We have platform as a service, so a PaaS solution with which you can create basically anything as a service overall. So database as a service, and other CI/CD services for your customers. We say we are the alternative for VMware, but also for hyperscalers and legacy platforms, mainly for the service provider world. We do not say that we don't fit into the enterprise or small, medium businesses for private cloud use cases. But the reality is that we are OpenStack based, and that makes it a bit tougher for the SMB use case, for example. So our current focus is definitely the service providers. So managed service providers with their own hardware and cloud service providers with their own hardware or hosting it in data centers. That is where we specifically focus on, but it doesn't mean that our solution doesn't fit into other use cases. So we are more than happy to understand what size it is, how we can help, and then we can talk about what I already mentioned is OpenStack. So besides the 24 years in the virtualization market, uh, we have more than 680 channel partners. The very, very important number is 157 patents because if you hear virtualization, OpenStack, it usually comes with very complicated situations. But the 157 patents which we have, those are the patents which made OpenStack very easy and enables you to install our solution within half a day on the service and have it go live. Some use cases which we have, so some customers from ours are Flow Swiss from Switzerland. We have the Ionos Group overall, NetGo, RAG.com, and many, many more. We most likely will have also some customers closer to you. So if you need more better customer cases, let me know and we can provide it later. But also from an enterprise business perspective, we work with Acronis, Constructor, Tata Motors. So as mentioned before, it's not only the alternative service providers, we also do have some enterprise use cases. Our goal is to be as efficient. Reliability is very important these days to not have downtimes. The performance, so uh, not having only, let's say, the low performance environments, but also focusing on high performance if it's needed. Security, as we all know, and versatility. So the flexibility to offer many things in one solution and not only limiting it to some use cases. Um, I assume you are very much aware on how the current market overall globally looks like. We have most of them, 80%, are in the top five, let's say, hyperscaler businesses when it comes to cloud. But the 21% of the business is around 72 billion of revenue for cloud providers. And it will grow because we know, let's say, we saw what happened with VMware. We saw what's happening in US, so also the political situation. We have more and more uh, companies coming to us and saying we need to have something reliable from Europe in the European market to serve the customers because that is getting asked more and more. Good. So, what options do we have on the market? We have, first of all, which we all know, the hyperscalers. It is quite complex. We have low margin, and one part is the risk of losing customers. The other part, it is not a company which you can have an influence on. Then you can use, of course, the third parties, so Nutanix, VMware, Red Hat. With some parts, we saw how it went. So not always third-party solutions is where you want to go to. It can be costly, complex, designed for high-end user use cases. It's for the broad range of customers. And then the third option, of course, you can build something up what you want to yourself. So you can build your own OpenStack. And then later on, we will jump into, of course, the fourth topic, so Virtuoso and how we offer it. But of course, what is the positive part of OpenStack? Because it sounds like a dream sometimes to people. They say we want to have OpenStack because we don't have vendor lock-in. We have more flexibility because the range of services is very big. It is cost efficient because we say, yeah, we don't have any licensing costs with that, without a doubt. And then there is community support. So we think perfect solution. But the reality can be a bit different because how do we deploy it? How can we make sure the time to market is on point? How can we have low management overhead and low TCO? Is it compatible? So there are many, many, many questions which will bring you to the situation and often to the conclusion to stay with third parties because OpenStack is very complex. It's time consuming. You need to have a lot of people working on it. And only to compare it, we are, let's say, around 250 people currently at Virtuoso, and we work every day on OpenStack to make sure that our solution is the best uh, based on OpenStack, which for a smaller company or even a mid-sized company who wants to use OpenStack, it is getting very challenging to work every day on that solution. Um, so we have also this situation where Wallstream, Shark Tech from the US or Wallstream from Netherlands, they were able to do OpenStack. So they had this, let's say, investment possibilities to do their own OpenStack, but instead of focusing on creating their own solution, they preferred to focus on the customer needs, developing the platform, leaving it to us, and making sure that they can focus on providing the right services. Because that is often also the situation where you decide for companies decide for AWS, for Microsoft, because they don't want to focus on the solution itself, but they want to focus on providing the services. And that is often why hyperscalers can win. But that's also why Shark Tank and Wallstream decided to move to Virtuoso to make 100% sure that they don't need to focus on the solution, but can provide the services without a vendor lock-in and still have a profitable solution, not generating high costs. So how do we have? And now we go into the more product side of things. So if you have any questions about the business, about the situation in the market, I'm more than happy also to have this conversation. Feel free to now put them into the chat because now we will go into and focus more on the solution side and technicalities. Um, what is Virtuoso hybrid infrastructure? As we see, it's a production-ready open stack. So it has all the open source benefits, but we did a streamlined deployment. It's very easy to manage and it has support. So we provide 24/7 support with it. It is one ISO file, I think it's around 7 GB, which you can then deploy this solution basically by yourself. We would like to make sure that it's done properly because it is different than VMware, but still easy to manage. You can create your own KVM based hypervisor, but and that's also the one of the patents. It's Virtuoso KVM. So we are one of the top 3 or 4 contributors to KVM. We have our own kernel developers and made sure that the KVM is as performance heavy as possible. So it is top performance. It's better than the basic KVM, and it's very easy to compare it also to, let's say, VMware, for example, to the kernel from VMware. Then what you have is Virtuoso storage, which is our own, again, performance storage, and optimized hypervisor in that. And then you have the option to connect external storage. We have a flexible licensing, and usually it's easy to say that we can fit under 40% of TCO. So if you compare it to VMware, there is not a chance that VMware will be cheaper than our solution. I mean, that is not the shocking information, but we have a very efficient, let's say, possibility to work with us. You can have pay as you go. So there is the option to sign a contract without big commitments on a monthly basis. You only pay for what you use. And then there is the option to have per core licensing, pretty similar to what was offered before by VMware. But again, here as well, you pay for what you want to use and not some huge bundles which you need to pay out. We also provide premium support. We provide migration, which we will come to that in a second, but there is the option also to have a TAM, so technical account manager from our side. I will go into the details, but let me maybe go here quickly through that again. So the infrastructure as a service offers you very broad options of services, which you know. So you have the OpenStack services. So from Prometheus, also monitoring all the APIs which you can connect through OpenStack, the load balancers, compute. Then we have also the Kubernetes. So you can all mainly most of the options which OpenStack provides will be in our solution, but made easy. So you don't need to have any input into it. It has a front layer which we go through maybe in a short time. But overall, it's made easy. So no CLI, no programming by yourself. It is multi-tenant. So you can provide the services to as many customers as you want. You have orchestration within it, and you have software-defined storage with all the options of backup, VPN, etc. Okay, so one of the use cases which we have more often coming also on the reasons of having the storage, the very, let's say, important data stored on-prem at a local provider or in your own uh, premises is to have S3 for AI, for data analytics, and for backup workloads, which you don't want to put anywhere else in the world. It is very high performance. So it's our own solution. It's our own patent. It's not someone else's patent. We do integrate with Vertica. We have also integrations when it comes to Commvault, Veeam storage, Veeam backup, Chroma, and many, many others. So the S3 storage is compatible with most of the biggest companies in the world. It is scalable. So you, again, here we are not asking to buy thousands of terabytes at once. You can start with even 1 terabyte and then scale it out, as well as when it comes to the performance. It is very cost efficient, so price to performance ratio is 6 times usually better than compared to alternative storage solutions, which we can go with when it comes to the pricing through with Hermitage on a personal, let's say, conversation. And then it's very secure. So we have bucket policies, we have all the security measures, which are important. Um, so the deployment models I will quickly jump into, but our solution is hyper-converged. So what does it mean? It's storage plus compute in one solution. So the overhead is much smaller when it comes to the usage. It's faster. You don't need as many like separate switches or teams. It has a better disk economy because we make sure that our performance is as high as possible. The lower total cost of ownership. So often you think that if you use external storage, it will be cheaper than to have a hyper-converged infrastructure. But we did some calculations on that, and that is not true. Even more that you don't have any vendor lock-in. You can reuse, or you can, let's say, reuse, first of all, older storage devices and then renew them in a, let's say, incremental method, so you don't need to change everything at once. Uh, you have a consolidated compute and storage cut power, and usually it saves up to 50% on storage costs. Unified management and scale, so it's one platform, one compute, one storage, and it includes auto healing, tiering, snapshots, and at no extra cost. So you will have everything in one solution without the need to having a couple of management boards to um, and monitor everything by your own. That will do one solution here. It has a built-in Kubernetes management. So with industry standards, it's automated deployments and updates. So if you have a customer who needs Kubernetes, you want to have it deployed within a day, let us know. We can definitely do that. And it has a highly available control plane. If you have Kubernetes use cases, we are more than happy to go through that. Multi-tenancy, as mentioned, and that is the very important part here where many solutions have issues with. You have the system administrator where you can set up everything, all the rules, we call it flavors. Then you can provide a domain to your customers who can be, for example, a managed service provider or a customer of your own who can then do projects within that. So it is multi-layer, multi-tenancy without any additional installment, any additional cost. The deployment options. So as mentioned, you can do compute only with a small amount of storage needed still because OpenStack is not that easy when it comes to without storage. So you always need to have a small bit of storage for the system, but compute only is possible. And then you can connect any solution, external storage solution, which is um, compatible with OpenStack. Then we have storage only. So if you want to build up your own high performance S3 storage, which we want to offer uh, in the local market, you can definitely do that. Or iSCSI or NFS. Then compute with storage. So the hyper-converged infrastructure, which we mentioned a second ago. Um, we will go into some questions in a second, but when it comes to the partnerships, we have Acronis as one of our key partners, Commvault Storeware when it comes to backup and disaster recovery, and Coriolis. We are working on having the integration with a Veeam because that will be probably the first question you ask, what's with Veeam? So if you Google it also online, you will see that even Veeam confirms that we are in conversations. We are making sure that the solution will work. It is a work in progress. We have everything, let's say, in the right direction, but I cannot say any official date yet. When it comes to the cloud management platforms, WMCS, Aussie, Hospital, Flair, we integrate with data analytics, open text, pure storage when it comes to others, but also the Cinder driver here, I would say pure storage plus anything which is Cinder driver compatible. And then VDI is Stream. Again, here we are working on some new solutions, but nothing to share yet. Uh, I mean, Citrix is not in the next, let's say, couple of months. If you do provide Citrix, you would need to then probably think about a different solution with us. So migration, who can we trust? How to do it? What are the costs? Do we need a new tech team to do it? All the questions which you have, because one part is even more in today's world, we have the situation where the storage, the RAM costs are jumping over the roof. You have in the next 12 months the situation where you need to renew VMware. You have the situation where you don't know the new solutions. So how can we make sure that it works? So when it comes to the hardware, we are Red Hat 9 compatible. So anything which is Red Hat Linux 9 compatible will work with us. When it comes to renewing or let's reusing the storage, as mentioned before, we don't say you need to have new hardware. So most often you will be able to use the old uh, um, solution with a pay-as-you-go model, for example, to just be able to create something next to VMware and in case then work up the migrations, make sure that everything is working as it should be before it being too late. And then what's with the downtime? How do we maintain this migration? With that, we do provide migration planning. So from a blueprint, which we can provide to you, analyzing the capacity, we also can do the migration for you. We can do a POC try run with you to make sure that everything is working as it should be. Our team is ready to basically have hold your hand, help you out in planning, in making sure everything is as it is, to making sure the commercials are right. We are not the biggest, but we can focus on each of every customer of ours to make sure that they have the best uh, collaboration with a partner, even more those days, which we have now, to make sure everything runs smoothly. And we provide training, instructions, documentation, and if needed, we also can do like very, let's say, um, personalized training sessions if that is also a need. Migration tools are cloud-based, so it's Coriolis, Cloud Any. We have Acronis, we have Hystix, and an internal free Virt2, so that's OpenStack-based Virt v2v. I would like to already spoil, but we will have our own migration tool very likely, let's say in the next couple of months. So Q1, Q2, we should have probably a migration tool from VMware to our solution, which also will be very cost efficient. So the full life cycle, that's what you get with us. From pre-sales engineering to onboarding, making sure that you are trained, you know how it moves on, to making sure that the migration is planned well, to production, so with premium technical support, expansion, growth services, technical account management, and managed services, so we can even take over the whole working on the solution. Uh, you have automated deployments. It is production ready with zero downtime updates, with a good R&D team behind it. So any questions about making sure that it's easy to use? It is with the right SLAs. It is, I would say, enterprise ready as a solution. And the performance should also be very comparable with VMware. Uh, our network, the biggest, we have Ionos, Accents, Acronis, Cytec. That's mainly in the EMEA region, but we are outside also of the EMEA region. So we have some bigger accounts in Kazakhstan now, which is working very well, in America and in Asia, of course, as well. Uh, More than 300 clusters, more than 1 exabyte of storage, 680 customers plus. We are growing heavily. So in only in EMEA, we won 35 new service providers last year, and you can find us in around 40 countries when it comes to customers, partners, and not only. Mm, okay. The use cases.
Alexander,
Uh,
I also will interrupt that.
yeah, we have 4 minutes. So I
Yeah,
would say we are ready to do the questions. That's are the use cases. I think we are pretty much ready. So from my part, I said everything. If there are questions, we could jump into that.
we have a few actually. And first of all, thank you for presenting quite complex things in a simple manner. And while presenting, you answered a few questions, but maybe let's
Mhm.
at least this one that. The question was, how does Virtuozzo storage solution compare with open source alternative? So maybe you can, sum up to two,
Yes.
three points
I
straight.
mean, I'm more than happy to. We have a very complex statistic where we did a lot of testing on that. We have, I think, on 6 nodes, we did performance tests against OpenStack. So I assume uh, which solution we are talking about. Because if Proxmox, they use, oh, how are they called? Today I'm not good with names, sorry for that. But overall, we have comparable, and it's like 6 times faster or 3.5 times faster than the solutions for OpenStack. So from a performance perspective, I'm more than happy to provide you the full overview. It's like 56 slides. In detail on how we did the performance test without lying about how performance it is. So more than happy to provide you with that. But uh, easy answer, much better.
Okay, thank you. We also had questions regarding hybrid deployments. Is it possible? So you answered that yes, it is.
Yes.
Yes. So, and the last question would be, do you have a cloud and offline environment for testing solution?
Yes. So the first thing is you can download our ISO free from our website. It's limited, I think, to 90 or I don't know how many cores, but it's a bit limited, but you can deploy it on 3 nodes. You can deploy it also on a virtual machine. Easy to download, so we will provide you the link afterwards. And you also can, let's say, test. We have a, let's say, POC environment online that
Mhm.
would need to be through a conversation with us because it's limited in resources when you want to have the admin panel and the end customer panel. But if you want also to just test to see what is possible to create your own cloud, for example, you can also use our solution in our cloud, which is called Virtuozzo Hybrid Cloud. And that is basically the whole infrastructure as a service platform as a service in one solution ready to be used. So we will provide you the details.
Okay, thank you. So the most important thing is that it is possible, and for the details, we have to contact you, Alexander.
Yes. I mean, we can send the links. That would be my ask as well, of course, to Hermitage to provide the links after the call, or you can contact Hermitage to get the more details about that. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Thank you,
Thank you.
Alexander. And